This time we're going to work on Microsoft Word or document production for the October-November 2014 paper 2. Okay, so let's look at number 3. It says using a suitable software package, load the file n14mice.rtf, right? So I'm just going to open this. Okay, now when it says you are now going to edit a document, it means that you are doing Microsoft Word. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is to save the RTF file or rich text format into a Word document. Okay, this is because there are certain features of a Word document that is not compatible with the RTF format. Okay, always remember to do this. Okay, save it. Now let's look at question number 4. Set the page size to A4, orientation to landscape. Okay, so page layout, size A4, orientation to landscape. Now I'm going to skip the place screenshot evidence of this in your evidence document because it overlaps with question number 5. Okay, let's look at question number 5. Set the top and bottom margin to 2 centimeters, left and right margin to 1.5 centimeters, right? Okay, so select margin, custom margin. So top, you are setting it to 2 centimeters, bottom to 2 centimeters, left to 1.5, and right to 1.5. Okay, and press OK. Okay. 5. Okay, I'm just going to ignore the error message. Okay. Now, the screenshots that they require, screenshots evidence of this in your evidence document, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to page setup. Okay, so here it captures the margin as well as the orientation. Okay, now please press your print screen and paste it into your evidence document. Now, because I'm using Parallels on Mac, okay, I'm going to use do a different approach. So I'm going to print screen. Okay, and I'm going to paste it in my evidence document. Okay, so this captures your margin as well as your orientation, okay, but it doesn't capture your paper size, right? Okay, so what you can do is go back here, come here, switch it to paper, and notice that A4 is selected, right? Okay, so do another screen capture of this. Ignore. And paste it just below this. Okay, now let's move on. Save the document with a new name in your work area. Make sure it is saved in the format of the software you're using. Okay, so just save it in a new name, okay, with a new name. New. There you go. Okay, now set all the text to a 12-point serif font, 1.5 line spacing, be fully justified, right? So I'm just going to select everything. Okay, a 12 serif font, right? Serif meaning it has pointy ends. So I'm just going to select the most common one, Times New Roman. Okay, now 1.5 line spacing, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to paragraph. Line spacing, I'm going to select 1.5, and it says fully justified. Fully justified meaning pai lang lang, okay? So I'm just going to click this. Okay, now make sure there is a single 12-point line space after each paragraph. Okay, back to paragraph. So spacing after, I'm going to select 12-point line spacing. Click OK. So you will see that there's actually more spaces in between the paragraphs, after the paragraphs. Okay, make sure, sorry, number 9, place in the header your candidate name, candidate number, and your center number. So I am going to double click on the header. Okay, now notice that the center margin, right, as well as the right margin is not at the correct position because you switch from portrait to landscape. So what you have to do is you got to manually drag this here as well as this to the middle. Okay, so your candidate name, candidate number, and your center number in the header, right? So today's so place in the footer, today's date left aligned. Okay, I'm gonna go down here in the left alignment here. Again, you will notice that the center margin as well as the right margin is not right, so let's correct that by dragging it. Okay, today's date left aligned, right? So I'm just going to put date and time, click it. Okay, then the automated file name and file path right align. Now, how do you go to the right? Just tap and tap. Okay, now how do you put in your what's that? File name and file path. Okay, you need to go to quick paths. Okay, and select field. Okay, file name together with the file path, and there you have it. Okay, make sure that all the alignments match the page margins. Make sure that the header and footers are displayed on all the pages. Okay, everything is within the page margin. Okay, the header and footer appears on all the pages. That's fine. Okay, now insert a blank line at the start of the document and enter the title, input devices for a gaming computer. Okay, so a blank line doesn't mean a straight blank line, okay? A straight black line or something. It means you press enter and this is a blank line. So I'm just going to type input devices for a gaming computer. Right, make the title center aligned with a 36-point italic sans serif font. So make this center aligned. 36 points. And a sans serif font. Now, sans serif font, let's just choose Arial. Okay, sans serif fonts do not have pointy ends or edges. Okay, now add a subtitle below the title, Mice for Gamers, buy and add your name. So I'm just going to add another one here, Mice for Gamers, buy. Okay, set the subtitle to be an 18-point sans serif font. So I'm going to change this to 18 points. Underlined, underlined, not italic. Oh, my bad. So the header has to be italic. The heading, sorry. Okay. And this one should be right aligned. So I'm just going to select right. There you go. Okay, on the same page after the subtitle, format the rest of the document into 3 equally spaced columns with a 1 centimeter gap between the columns. So after, right? On the same page after the subtitle. So which means everything else after the subtitle. Alright, so just highlight everything. Go to page layout, columns. Now you can select 3 columns here, but you need a 1 centimeter gap between the columns. So you need to select more columns. Select 3 here and change the spacing to, guess what, 1 cm. There you go. Press OK. This is what you'll get. Okay. Moving on, question 15, it says delete the paragraph that starts the thing with the mechanical mouse was that there were wear and tear issues, right? Okay, it's here. So what I can do is I can just delete it. Okay, I'm just going to highlight the entire paragraph. I'm going to backspace. That's it. 16, find an appropriate image of a mouse and place it in the left column of the first page at the start of the second paragraph. Align it with the top line of the text and the left margin. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to search for an image of a mouse, like a computer mouse, not a mouse lah. Huh? Okay, so gaming mouse. Okay. Anything lah. Okay, this one. Okay, so it wants it on the second paragraph in the first page, right? So insert, picture. I'm going to select the one I saved on the desktop. Okay, now it says to fill half the column and maintain the aspect ratio, right? So you need to resize it this way so that the aspect ratio is maintained. And it says make sure the text wraps around and below the image. So your image, okay, double click on it, you will end up in format, select wrap text and say square. Okay, you will see above, round and below, right? So round and below. Okay, there you go. 18, apply a single bullet to each paragraph of the text from mechanical mouse, houses a hard rubber ball, blah blah blah. Okay, up to cordless 3D mouse. Okay, so from here up to here. I'm gonna pull it bullet points. Right, there you go. Looks like crap, but that's it. Okay, 19, it says format the end of the document so that only the table fills the page with. This table will compare the 3 types of mouse. The heading are in the table. Okay, so basically what it means is it wants this table to be in a new page, and it wants the entire table to fill across the 3 columns. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to select the table. We are going to go to insert and put in a page break so that it jumps to a new page. Okay, so here we're going to change the 3 columns to 1 column, right? So page layout, columns, 1. Okay, and then we're going to resize the table so that it fills across the page, so that the people over in Cambridge will feel very happy. Okay, now it says copy from the file n14 recommend.rtf appropriate text and place this into the table at the end of your document. Okay, so I'm going to open n14 recommend. You will notice that there's make, model, and feature here. And then if you look here, there's also a make, model, and feature, right? So let's copy the first one first, the make, model, the razor. Okay, I'm just going to copy, switch it back. Okay, then I'm going to highlight these 3 cells because I'm going to overwrite them. Right click, and you select overwrite cells. Okay, do the same for Logitech and Alienware as well. Copy. Overwrite. Right, and double click to resize everything. Okay, now 21, make sure the text in the table matches the body text, keep the bullets. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that the text here is the same format as what we have here. Okay, so we're going to use something called a format painter to copy the format over from your article into the table. Okay, that's very simple. We're just going to highlight one of the paragraphs. Okay, go to home, see the format painter here. Just going to double click on it and just drag it across the entire table. Okay, you'll notice that the text actually changes to match the text you have here. So once you're done, just press escape. Now 22, make the text in the first column of the table make, model, features bold. Okay, so make, model, features bold. Shade the top 2 rows of the table only with a light gray background. So top 2 rows of the table, light gray background, light gray. 24, set the outside border only to a width of about 3 points. Ensure that all grid lines are visible when printed. Okay, so select your entire table. Alright, go to design, select 3 points and set the border to outside border. Okay, ensure that all grid lines are visible when printed. Okay, this means that all the grid lines are still here. Number 25, spell check and proofread the document, correct any spelling errors. Okay, so under review, right, you will see something called spelling and grammar. Okay, just click on it and ignore certain words. Okay, mechanical, obviously it's called not mechanical, but it's mechanical. So change. Limitations should be limitations, change. Tabletop, change. Razer is a brand, you don't need to change it, so just ignore. Alienware, ignore. TactX, ignore. Thumb grip, change. There you go. So there are no widows or orphans, there are no split tables, there are no blank pages, it has consistent line and paragraph spacing. Now if the questions ask you to check whether there are no widows or orphans, you don't need to do much, or you don't need to do anything at all, because in Microsoft Word, your paragraph settings, okay, line and page breaks, widow and orphan control is actually enabled. Okay, so you don't need to do anything with that. They are not split tables. Your table is across one column. It doesn't split on different pages. There are no blank pages, no blank pages. It has consistent line and paragraph spacing. Everything looks good. 26, save the document and print the document. Okay, so when it asks you to print, you just need to click print and actually print out the document. All right, we're done.